This winter break in Norway starts with a flight from Bergen to Sogndal, where there are some marvellous views of the winter landscape. Then there is the wonderful train journey from Bergen across to Oslo. The Norwegian company Widerøe has a network of flights in Norway connecting the smaller towns, using these Dash 8 aircraft. On the runway now is the flight to Sogndal, which takes about an hour. The journey to Oslo is on Bergensbanen, the Bergen Railway, one of the most exciting and beautiful train journeys in the world. The line links Bergen, Norway's main port, with Oslo, the capital city, travelling across the roof of Norway, with amazing scenery at any time of the year. Perhaps the most spectacular stretch is the one across Hardangervidda, Europe's highest mountain plateau and largest wilderness area. In the winter, this landscape is even more dramatic and shows that the Bergen Railway was an extraordinary feat of engineering. Built across mountains, it is the highest mainline railway in northern Europe, crossing the Hardangervidda plateau at over 4,000 feet. For nearly 60 miles it is above the tree line, crossing terrain with few signs of human life. Amazingly, there is a railway station at this altitude, Finse, surrounded almost exclusively by rock and ice. There are no roads up here. The area has been used for training by the polar expeditions. The line was opened in 1909, having taken 34 years to complete. It involved a workforce of more than 15,000 men, who had to excavate 182 tunnels, mostly by hand. The Gravhals tunnel at Mjørdal took 6 years to build. They also had to build miles of snow sheds to keep the avalanches off the line. Because of the high altitude, in the winter the workers had to contend with several feet of snow and temperatures which were far below freezing. There were no roads up to the highest parts to bring in the supplies, so before they could even start on the construction, they had to build an access road. This road is 53.5 miles long and climbs to an altitude of 4,200 feet at Fagervatn, Fager Water. Then, every day during the summer season, hundreds of horse carriages took everything up to the plateau. This road became known as Rallarvegen, the Navis Road. Today, it offers an amazing wilderness adventure for both cyclists and walkers, with breathtaking scenery all the way. On the lower section between Mjørdal and Flom, there are 21 hairpin bends. And then there is the beautiful view down to the fjord below. The Bergen Railway has only one branch line, the famous Flåmsbane, which merits its own separate film. It climbs from Flom, at sea level on the Aurlandsfjord, up to Mjørdal, which is almost 3,000 feet above sea level, and which has no road access. It is 300 miles from Bergen to Oslo, and the journey takes about 7 hours. Steam engines ran on the line until 1957, when diesel traction was introduced. But by 1964, the whole line had been electrified, at the huge cost of 143 million Norwegian kroner. Leaving Dale, the line runs through the Raundal Valley and is then uphill all the way to Myrdal. In this valley are many farms, but after this the scenery is ever changing. Mountains, plateaus, glaciers, frozen lakes, forests and gentle meadows. The train is now approaching Myrdal in the mountains.
Neste stopp Myrdal. Myrdal og avstigning venstre side.
This is 2,849 feet above sea level. There is no road access here. This is a borrowed photograph, looking down to Myrdal. It gives a really good idea of the position and shows the railway line with some of the snow sheds and the tunnels. From Myrdal, the train continues to climb. It is only hard work and effective equipment which keeps the line open in these conditions, as well as the snow sheds and fences which keep the avalanches off the line.
Vi ankommer Finse stasjon om 5 til 6 minutter. We will arrive at Finse station in 5 to 6 minutes.
Med en gang vi kjører ut av Finse-tunnelen, så vil dere se Hardangerjøken på høyre side. Hardangerjøken har en høyde på 1867 meter over havet, og den er altså på høyre side med en gang vi kjører ut av Finse-tunnelen. Finse station is the highest situated station on the Bergen line, 1222 meters over sea level. Thank you.
The next stop is Geilo, a well-known ski resort.
Geilo and platform right hand side.
Geilo is about the halfway stage, and from here the line slowly descends through Gol and then Hønefoss. It finally reaches the Oslo suburbs after a wonderful 7-hour journey.
Your attention please. In a few minutes the train will arrive Oslo Central Station. Oslo in a few minutes and you will find the platform on your right hand side. Before you leave, please make sure that you have all your belongings with you. On behalf of the crew, I'd like to thank you for traveling with us. We hope that you have had a pleasant journey, and we look forward to having you with us perhaps some other time here at the Bergen Railway. Have a nice evening in Oslo.
Down by the harbour in Oslo, this is the City Hall. In the roof of the eastern tower, there's a 49-bell carillon, which plays a different tune every hour. This is looking from Aker Brygge, across to Akershus, a medieval castle built to protect the city. The City Hall was inaugurated in 1950 to celebrate the city's 900th anniversary. The central hall is decorated by large murals depicting Norwegian life and culture. They were painted by Norwegian artists from the early 20th century. This is the other clock, down on the quay. Next morning, I caught the tram from the centre of Oslo up to the ski slopes above the city at Frognerseteren. I think I was the only passenger without either skis or a sledge. Even though it is March and so near to the city, there is still plenty of snow for skiing. Near here, there are floodlit cross-country ski tracks through the forests, which in only a few weeks' time, when the snow has gone, will become beautiful springtime walks. Frognerseteren is over 1,500 feet above sea level. Near Tryvann, the tower, is the area where lots of families with children gather. Just nearby are the two downhill slopes, with lovely views down to the city and the fjord. This man was going to pull his toddler behind him. The rest of the family skied behind. The kiosk was open, selling hot chocolates and other snacks. But some people had brought their barbecue with them. A little further down the slope is the Frognerseteren restaurant, a really Norwegian building. It was very busy, and quite a few people took their food outside to eat. From the terrace there is a lovely view down to Oslo. I walked further down the hill and came to the ski jump at Holmenkollen. I caught the tram from here back to Oslo, at the end of another exhilarating visit to Norway.